America is a great country. It's a melting pot of many, many cultures and traditions. But as a result of that, we've had a difficult time forming our own traditions, and many people who come from other countries, like Japanese, Chinese people, European people, Scandinavian people, have long evolved traditions about diet and lifestyle and how to treat and maintain themselves. But when they get here and they get into the American way of life, they let all that go, and consequently the majority of people have no idea about how to treat themselves when they get sick, and they certainly have no idea of what it is that they're supposed to eat. If you ate pizza and soda pop before you got the flu, and you have the flu, then you eat more pizza and you take more soda pop. Bad idea. Diet should be easily digested. When we're talking about a recovery diet, it should be something that's easily assimilated and digested. The Jews have a tradition of using chicken soup, which I think is a very natural thing, because it's a very light, easily digested, proteinaceous food that gives you strength, but is easily assimilated. So foods should be easily digested, warm, and nutritious. I'm not a big fan of using high sugar fruit juices and even vegetable juices during the flu. These have the wrong energy, the wrong kind of nutrition for treating recovering from conditions like this, because they pose different kinds of metabolic challenges that our body doesn't need when it's trying to deal with the disease. We need foods that are easily digested, warm, and nutritious. Soups are ideal for that. Astragalus is an herb that I want to talk about soon, but it's commonly used, oftentimes pre-boiled, to make a stock. And the Chinese would add it to soups, and they would add it to various foods, and it's known to have antiviral properties, but it's known specifically for its ability to protect us from colds and flus. So people would, I recommend that people buy a pound of astragalus from Chinese pharmacies and or trusted sources. Keep it in your cupboard, and just like you have your oregano and thyme and other kinds of spices, you have your nutritious tonics there. And at least once a week, whether you need it or not, take they look like little yellow tongue depressors. Take 4 to 6 of those, boil them in some water, and use that as a stock for making a stew like this or a soup. The therapeutic diet in Japan is miso soup, and miso soup and rice particularly is what the Japanese people instinctively and traditionally know, that when they get sick, that's the food they would resort to taking during sickness. Miso has tremendous health benefits, and you can buy miso light, which means less than the normal amounts of salt that's oftentimes found in miso, being a fermented product that it is. It's very high in probiotics, and these probiotics are natural bacteria that your stomach and digestion need to maintain a healthy immune system and to maintain healthy digestion, which is one of the reasons why when you go to better Japanese restaurants, we're given a small bowl of delicious miso soup to start the meal off. It warms our stomach, and it prepares it for the kind of eating that follows it, using sushi and other kinds of wonderful foods that are part of the cuisine of Japan. The addition of bonito flakes, which you can also buy now in stores throughout the country, the Japanese call dashi. In the Japanese restaurants, that makes that wonderful cloudy color in the miso soup that seems to be like a cloud that floats in there. And what that is small bonito flakes. It adds a lot of the qualities of EPA, essential fatty acids, to the miso soup. When you use the dashi, just to give you a little tip here, you might use a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, and you wrap it in a cloth and dip it in the soup for a while, and it will absorb through the cloth into the soup, and then you take it out and throw it away. You don't want to have little fish eyes floating around in your soup bowl. So here's a miso soup recipe that I took off the internet, and you can find many varieties of miso soup available throughout the internet. It's very easy to make. Miso is something that we keep on hand all the time, and whenever any of us get sick, whenever I get sick, I immediately start off in the morning with miso soup and maybe a little brown rice, or white rice for that matter, which is a little easier to digest. A comparable type of therapeutic diet from the Chinese tradition is called Congee. Congee basically is rice porridge, and it's very simply made by cooking 1 part rice to 10 parts by volume of water. And it's usually long cooked, and this makes a medium to which many things can be added. You can add eggs to it, you can add chicken stock, you can add vegetables, and even various herbs can be added, such as astragalus. Kanji is generally the traditional breakfast of Chinese people, and they favor the use of white rice because they figure in the morning it's harder, our digestion is not quite fired up, and brown rice may be a little hard to digest, and white rice is easier, so that's one of the reasons why white rice is used for Kanji. This is food that's oftentimes served and Kitchari, which we'll talk about in a moment, and miso soup, to people who are convalescing from illness, where they have tremendous sensitivity and they can't eat anything solid. These are great foods to think of and to give them. So this is a little recipe for how to make congee. Again, this video will be available with the PowerPoint presentation on the website on our website, planetherbs.com, and you can review it again to tell other people to see it, and you can pause it at this place to copy these recipes down. Kitchari, known as Food of the Gods. I have an extensive article on Kitchari entitled Kitchari, Food of the Gods. You can find it on the internet or go to the following URL on my website, and it talks at length about Kitchari. My daughter Shasta Tierra has written a book on Kitchari. She's practically lived on it herself and recommends it routinely to her patients with great benefit. People seem to lose weight naturally and regain their health in a beautiful way because it supplies everything that the body needs in a very easily digested manner. I call it the food of the gods because Kitchari is a food that is favored by yogis and ascetics, renunciates, who basically are attempting to turn their mind towards higher things and don't want to be distracted by delicious flavors and scents and the kinds of things that seduce us through our daily activities. So I met a yogi well into his early 90s many years ago who lived on Kitchari and had done so for at least 20 years of his life. That's all he had. 3 times a day he had Kitchari. Now it was seasonally made, and he had one woman who was in charge with cooking this food for him, and she would put in vegetables. So she would think of the basic combination of mung beans and or split yellow mung beans and rice as something to add other things to, according to seasonal availability. So grated carrot could be added, other kinds of greens can be added to make it into a stew. The traditional Indian spices that form the core of Indian curry, known to be very beneficial for digestion and assimilation, includes cumin seed, coriander seed, and turmeric. Turmeric having tremendous antioxidant properties, tremendous anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antibacterial properties. Usually you don't take enough of it to actually have such a powerful effect in terms of the therapeutic benefits of these spices, but there's enough to help in maintenance. You'd have to adjust the taste yourself as to how much you put in them. Clarified butter, ghee, is also used, and the spices are sautéed in them first until you have that wonderful, delicious aroma that's characteristic of Indian cooking that begins to arise, in which you immediately take it off the burner and you stir in your pre-cooked split yellow mung beans and rice into the mixture, mix it up, and voila, you have Kitchari.